Juarez, the pistol back. There goes Bell. He's looking to throw. Throws off to his left side. It's going to be intercepted. I believe that's number 22, Ryan Clifton, who's got some room on the left side. The 10, the 5. Touchdown, Calaveras.
Ryan Clifton with a great play on the ball. The quarterback, he undercut that route and just picked it off and took it, 45, 50 yards up the field. A great play by Clifton.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
With Coach Val. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. I'm your host, Gil Valtierra, the voice of Calaveras Football. We are coming to you on location from Frank Meyer Field here in beautiful San Andreas. Calaveras High School, home of the state champion Calaveras High School varsity football team. And sitting next to me right now is president of the Calaveras Youth Football Program, Coach Vince Montgomery. Coach, welcome. Thank you for spending some time with us.
As usual, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
You bet. We're here at the high school witnessing the 2026 installment of the Calaveras Youth Football Camp, where all four levels of the Calaveras youth football teams, the junior, novice, JV, and varsity, come out and participate in a drills and skills camp that the Calaveras High School football staff put on, along with a lot of their football players helping out. Coach Montgomery, tell us a little bit about what's an event like this mean for the youth football program.
This is just the camp the high school puts on for us is really our kickoff to our season. This is my 5th year doing the camp with Manny and his team. It's a great event. It's good to get the kids out here with the high schoolers. It's actually really cool because the high schoolers coaching our youth used to be our youth kids.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a rite of passage for them too, that they've made that next step into high school, and now they're out here teaching the youth things that they've been taught throughout our program, which are helping us, have a winning football team in both youth and high school. So it's a great event for us.
Yeah, you bet. And besides coming out and today, it feels like it's like, opening up that book and looking at that first page, it's like seeing this event happen means, it's football season now. It's like, the kickoff of the season, everything starts to happen after this. Besides coming out and participating in all these skills and drills, what else are these young men going to do today? I mean, there's a lot of business happening out on the field today, right?
Absolutely. So we have our camp, and then directly after camp, we're doing our gear handout. In the past, it's been kind of broken up, but the relationship we've been building with the high school and the high school team, we're able to, combine our efforts and get this stuff all knocked out one day, which is great for us as a program, and just helps kind of kick off that season. Kids, get to come out here, get a little workout in. End of the day, they get their helmet, and it's time to go.
So that's kind of exciting. I mean, they've been, you come out, you participate, and then now you're going to go home with all your gear going, man, it's football season if I got my helmet and my shoulder pads, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of our idea of it. It's like, hey, you know what? It's time to start locking in, strap up that chin strap, and get ready to go. So
let's talk about each program here just a little bit, Coach. The junior novice this year is going to be headed by head coach James Pettijohn. Tell me a little bit about, the last 2 years in a row, the junior novices won the Super Bowl for their level. So Coach Pettijohn's certainly going to have some big shoes to fill. Tell me a little bit about those young guys and what's been happening the past couple of years. And now with Coach Pettijohn, who's new at head coach, but not new as a coach. Tell us a little bit about the junior novice squad.
I'm really excited for our junior novice program this year. We have 30 kids on our junior novice squad, which is the biggest junior novice squad that we've had since I've been around in the past 6 years. And I couldn't be more happy to have James Pettijohn leading that group of boys. He's a second year coach for us at CJR, but last year was his first year and he fully bought into the program. He's not originally from Calaveras, but he is definitely a Calaveras guy now.
Excellent. And then we move on to the novice team. And once again, last 2 years, novice team has won the Super Bowl. And new head coach, not new head coach, Greg Mills will continue to coach that team. I know he's helped by Coach Mitch Watson, who's also been with him for the last couple years. Tell me a little bit about that squad and what's going on with that team.
Yeah, so we have Coach Mills, who's going to be sliding up to novice. Through our program, the way we kind of have it set up is you kind of just move with your original squad. So, you start at junior novice and then work your way up to varsity. So Greg's going to be sliding up into our novice head coach spot. He's got another good group of boys coming up with them. They got 34 kids on that squad.
Wow.
Yeah. So, which, large squads are great, but they also have their challenges. But I think Greg and the coaching staff there at the novice, no problem getting things tuned in and ready to go.
Yeah, as a former coach myself, having large numbers is a good problem to have, because I've also been on the other side of that spectrum where you're going, you don't have enough kids and you're going half line just to try to get any kind of reps and work done.
Yes.
So good problem to have. So both junior novice, 2-time Super Bowl champs in the past 2 years, looking to three-peat this coming season. Tell us now, Sam Arledge, who won the last couple of Super Bowls as head coach down in the lower levels, he's moving up to the JV this year. Tell me about that squad.
Yeah, so Sam's moving up to our JV squad. There's another big squad. They got 39 kids on that squad. Sam is just proven himself time and time again as, he can get the job done.
Absolutely.
I'm going to mention it now, and hopefully I don't jinx him, but he's an undefeated coach in our program, and I don't see a loss anytime soon in his future, man. He really knows how to get those boys fired up and get going. So I'm excited for JV this year.
He's got a good thing going. I'm excited to be able to watch him this coming season and see those young men get out there and compete. All right, moving on to the varsity. Tell us, Coach, you got looks like new head coach at the varsity level, Ryan Nunn. Tell me about Coach Nunn. Tell me about his experience and a little bit about this varsity squad this coming season.
Yeah, so Ryan's been with us for 6 years. He actually started coaching when I started in the program. So we've been around each other quite a bit. I personally had a couple issues, this year, that things I got to take care of. So he stepped in and took over the head coaching spot for me, which I was, very happy for him to be able to do that. Really excited for varsity. We got 39 kids on that squad as well.
Wow.
And the good thing about it is we have a lot of returners. We have our mix of new kids, but some of these kids have been in the program now 6 or 7 years, and they are dialed into football. They know what to do. They know the playbook. They know how we do things here at Calaveras, and I'm excited to see what they can do this year.
So when you look at all four of these levels, you've seen the success they've had in a couple of years, and then obviously they're running the same systems that the high school's running. All of these programs are meant to feed up to the high school, and hopefully all these kids continue to play when they get to the JV level in high school, and then of course ultimately at the varsity level in high school. You seen last season, Calaveras varsity football team, a historic season, going all the way down to Fullerton, California, and bringing home a Division 5A state championship for the first ever state championship for Calaveras High School. You're starting to see, the fruits of the labor here, so to speak, of all these youth teams coming up. And then now when you see some success at the high school varsity level, maybe these big numbers might have something to do with that, and say, hey, I want to be a part of something special like that.
I think there is nothing but good things ahead in what we're doing with Calaveras football for both at the youth and the high school level. I always tell our coaches, it's just rec football. I'm like, no, we are not a rec football program. We are a high school prep program. We run our direct feeder program for our high school team. We run the same plays. I'm really big on us using the same vocabulary. Our job is to make our high school coach's job easier. You go through our program, you're going to get into high school, you're going to know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
So,
well, I think you've been doing a good job. Obviously, the high school varsity coaches being out here and being involved and communicating with a lot of these youth coaches as well, them kind of going back and forth with each other. I know Coach Moses set up kind of like coaches camps where they all kind of share ideas and, bust out the grease boards and start drawing stuff up. Here's what we do. Here's what we'd like to see, and back and forth. That's got to help as far as, with the continuity of the whole entire program. Coach, when I look at all of these numbers, we're looking at close to 150 kids here. Tell us about I guess that's a good thing, but at some point you're like, how many helmets does the program have, right? So tell us a little bit about the overall program, the numbers. This has got to be one of the biggest ones I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, so luckily our league, the Mother Lode Valley Football League, they put a cap on how many kids we can have. So the cap is 160. So we're right there. This year we have 141 kids signed up throughout the program just for football. That doesn't include the cheer side of it. But
Wow.
it's the biggest squad or biggest program that I've been a part of since I started in the last 6 years. And to be totally honest, like you said, it's a great problem to have. I know when I started coaching, I was on the junior novice squad as a coach, and I had 15 kids on my team, and I had 14 helmets.
Whew.
So it's a different kind of challenge on the back end of this thing, but more than happy to buy as many helmets and shoulder pads as we need to get these kids out there and keep them safe on the field. Couldn't be prouder of the program. We got a great group of guys and coaches, board members, everyone, really stepping up to make this thing run as good as it does. So,
absolutely. So, in finishing, Coach, we've got this event happening today. Getting the camp, the gear. Now, tell me a little bit about first game for the program. I believe it is here at Calaveras High School. Let the folks know when they can come out and start watching these guys compete.
Yes, sir. So our first game is
August 15th.
August
right?
15th, Tuolumne here at Calaveras Frank Meyer Field. We'll be starting at 12 o'clock, junior novice, and we go all the way until 6 for our varsity game. Conditioning week starts next week, but we're all just working towards that first game. So we're really excited to have Tuolumne come visit us and hopefully take the W from all of them. So.
Okay, so you heard it Saturday, August 15th here at Calaveras High School, week 1 of the 2026 Calaveras Youth Football Program against Tuolumne. 12 o'clock kickoff for the junior novice, 2 o'clock for the novice, 4 for the JV, and 6 for the varsity. Yours truly will be on the PA, the voice of Calaveras football, getting the 2026 season started. Coach Vince Montgomery, president also of the Calaveras Youth Football League. I appreciate your time. Big event today. Can't wait. I'm excited for this, and thank you very much for your time.
Coach, thank you for having me, and always it's a pleasure, and thank you for everything you do for the program, man. We appreciate you.
You bet. Excellent. All right, sitting next to me now is the head football coach for the junior novice program here at Calaveras, Coach James Pettijohn. Coach, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. I know you're busy helping with these guys and getting them going for the camp. You got to be excited for the up and coming season. This event kind of kicks it all off. Last year, you guys won the Super Bowl. You were on the staff, and now this year, first year as head coach. Tell me a little bit about, how you felt about last year and now coming in as the captain of the ship, so to speak, about how you feel moving forward for this coming season.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're pretty excited. I'm very confident in the team. Last year was a great year. Started off first game with a loss. It was rough, and then we just clawed our way back all the way through. Super Bowl went well for us, obviously, and I plan to repeat that. It'd be a three-peat, I think, for the junior novice squad. I feel the pressure from the other coaches, of course. But the team I have, the amount of kids that showed up, we have 30 kids to start, which is double what we had last year to start. And I think that is just shows that winning is the best recruiting tool. And I think that's something we do well here.
Absolutely. And what a testament to the job you guys have done as far as, to go from 15 kids and now all of a sudden you got 30 kids, more of the community wants to be a part of the program. You guys have done a fantastic job. I'll tell you what, I've been around this game a long time, and I see you out there with these little guys, and sometimes it's like herding cats, and I'm like, I don't even know how you do it. And then on top of that, you got to, by the way, we got to teach you the game of football.
Yeah, this age group is tough, but when you can get them to focus, they're locked in. Mm-hmm. They're just like goldfish, though, right? So thank God that we reset every 30 seconds in football, because they get a reset too. But again, winning for this division, this team it's an easy recruiting tool. Winning is more fun. These kids know that, and they're ready to learn. A lot of kids put in conditioning over the summer. They put in the work because they want to be ready for Monday, conditioning week. So it's cool to see. Even out here on this camp right now, you can see who's done stuff over the summer and who hasn't. And there's not too many kids out here right now that haven't put in work. So
that's fantastic. Tell me a little bit. I mean, with this 30 that's on the team, are there any returners from last year?
Yeah. So previous year we had one returner, which was a tough thing. This year we have 10 returners. So that's huge. Our entire line is a returning for both sides of the ball, and then our quarterback is returning, which is pretty unheard of in this division to have a first grade starting quarterback, and then for him to come back, he already knows the plays. It's stuff him and I have worked on the off season because he knows, so it's really, that part is done. So now we just got to teach other kids the plays rather than just him the plays.
That's fantastic, especially to have the whole line. I mean, that's where it all starts up front, to be able to have those guys all stay together.
Most important people on the field, right? Without them, we got nothing. So,
okay, so now tell me about maybe a couple of impact players, maybe whether they're returners or maybe even like a newcomer that maybe you saw some something in them on the field today where you go, hey, that guy might be able to help us this year.
Yeah, so our center, our guards, and our tackles are returners. A kid named Rome is a monster, and he's put in so much work. Our center, Gunner, the kid is a completely different kid than last year. We got a kid named Growler. He's a monster. So those three dudes are going to be huge for us on the line. Our quarterback, Carter, he's going to be an impact player, I think. A couple new guys, Justin Euchre, Benny Lozano. Those kids are going to be huge. Christian, he's going to be a Z for us. He's huge. Brody, going to be our X. Like, we got a lot of kids who are already filling out these roles today, and you can see that, and you can see that they're ready to rock and roll.
With a name like Growler, you almost have to play football, and you almost have to you tough kid, right?
He's got this obligation already attached to him.
It was just natural.
Yeah, he has no choice, right?
You mentioned Carter.
Yeah,
Carter Pettijohn, I believe, right? So that's your son. Tell me a little bit about his development. I know, it's tough, Coach. Watching all these kids and for how long I've been in the game, you see them, and then sometimes you're like, he's still got a lot of work to do. Then all of a sudden you see when it connects, and you see that twinkle in their eye, and you got to be able to love that.
The kid he's a monster. He cares. He grabs me constantly, like, hey, let's go work out, Dad. Let's put in the work. So he loves the game. He loves his position. He cares, and it makes me emotional.
I understand. And justifiably so. So coming into this next season, tell the folks about what's coming up next after this camp. I know they're going to get their gear. They're going to take home their helmet and shoulder pads. When does the conditioning start? When's the first game?
Yeah.
When's all that going to happen? Important dates coming up.
Conditioning starts Monday. And then, we're 2 weeks full conditioning. Next week after conditioning is we get pads and helmets, and the kids, get the taste of football. And then after that, it's a couple more weeks. We have a jamboree, and then season kickoff on 8/15 versus Tuolumne, and it's a home game, so that's a good start for us.
Excellent, great job to be able to start at home. And on Monday, the conditioning. What time are the practices?
Practices start at 6. That's when the whistle blows, so they got to be here early, preferably 15 minutes or more, just to kind of feel where they got to go on the field and what that looks like. And then for my division, it's a lot of shoe tying. It's a lot of making sure their shorts are on the right way, and just kind of, helping these kids get it together because they need help. They're 6 and 7 years old.
Yeah, of course. I remember when I was coaching and I participated in this event, and I remember coming out, I was coaching high school varsity football, and then you come down to these little guys, and the dynamic of, they're kind of, grabbing each other in line. Hey, cut in front of me in line and all this stuff. And I'm like losing my mind. Go, what's going on here?
Yeah, me starting at this level should make it easier as I progress, which is my plan. But I'm glad, I've coached baseball, I've coached basketball, I've coached flag football, I've coached flag in another county, and just nothing's changed. The kids are the same everywhere you go, and at this level, it's tough. So I figure if I can master the junior novice 6-7s, then I should be able to handle novice, JV, and varsity as I progress.
Absolutely. Okay, well, hey, Coach, big shoes to fill,
Yeah.
right? Coming in, make it three years in a row.
Yeah, the coaches before me laid a good path. Greg Mills, huge respect for the guy. I look up to the guy. He's a great friend of mine now, and he's laid a good foundation for me. And we've talked a lot on the off season, and he's there for me. And Sam, the junior varsity coach, and even Nunn at varsity, Vince, all these guys. It's a great community, great family, and everybody cares. And since it's a feeder program, I don't want to mess it up when they're small. and they've given me a great map to work with. So
that's fantastic to hear. Tell me about your assistant coaches. Who's helping you out this year?
Yeah, I have Jake Moe, who's been a part of the community for a long time. He played up here.
Yep.
Brandon Downer, same thing. And Brandon and Jake, they don't even have kids on the team, which shows their dedication level, right? They got no skin in the game, and they're out here helping me, which is awesome. It just shows that they care about the community.
You bet.
A couple other guys, Joey, Jimmy, they got kids on the team. Russell, he's got a kid on the team. Donnie, kid on the team. And they've all played up here. They're from here. They're all first-year coaches. Their kids are first-year kids, so it's cool to see them easily join. When I asked them, it was a no-brainer, right? These guys were ready to rock and roll. And I look forward to the camaraderie that we currently have and the kids. They all know each other. They've all been, sleepovers and swim parties, and it's really, you got to have a good base. And
Absolutely.
I feel like our coaching staff, we're all friends. We got a great base. These kids have a great base as friends, and that's where it starts. So
absolutely, football is family.
It is.
It is.
30 kids or 141 is the group is this year. They're all willing to help each other, which is so big, right? It's a hard game. So it's not easy to teach at any level.
Yeah. All right, folks, we've been listening to head football coach of the junior novice here at the Calaveras Youth Football Program, Coach James Pettijohn. Coach, wish you the absolute best of luck this coming season. I'll be out there
Thank you.
Wishing you the best of luck and rooting for you guys.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, folks, so now sitting next to me up in the booth is assistant coach at the novice level, Coach Mitch Watson. Greg Mills is the head coach. He's not here today, probably doing something baseball related. Shame on you, Greg. It's football season now. But everyone knows, Mitch, that you're the brains behind the operation anyway, right? So
some days, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, this isn't your first time at the rodeo. You've been coaching here at Calaveras a little bit, the youth program. Tell us a little bit about that as far as where you started, and now you're with the novice this year. Tell us about your background there.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, my son decided to play, and I stepped in as an assistant coach, asked by Greg Mills to be a coach, and we started off at the junior novice level. My son played 1 year at that level. Last year was a coach with Sam Arledge at the novice level, and here we are again back at novice. And Greg stepped in because his kid moved up, and we're going to take over the novice team this year and hopefully go get another Super Bowl.
Another Super Bowl. I mean, you look at the success that these programs have had the last couple of years. Junior novice, 2 Super Bowls in a row. Novice, 2 Super Bowls in a row. I mean, you guys are cooking with gas here. I mean, it's some good stuff happening. Sure. Tell us a little bit about now with this novice team about possibly some players that are returning that are going to be back on the team that were on last year's Super Bowl team that might have an impact again this year.
Yeah, so we have Gino Varney. He's a returner. He's been in the program now for 3 or 4 years. He's always a reliable, linebacker, running back. We have Jax Watson. He's also a third-year player, returning on novice this year.
No, is that your son?
That's my son.
Okay.
Yep. He's also free safety, linebacker, running back.
Mm-hmm.
We have Bronson Jenkins. He's our quarterback. Kid's real sharp, knows plays real well. He's also one of our strong corners on defense. We have the Green Boys. They're in. Last year, one of them, Michael, he did not play, but his brother Max did. But we got them both back on novice this year. I expect good things out of them. Vincent Vela, he played with us 2 years ago. Took a year off last year, but he's back. So, there's a handful of boys out here that have been around, maybe taking a year off. But, coming forward this year, I expect good things out of them. We have a lot of new kids, still learning them, seeing what their strong suits are. We got some time to figure that out, but I think this year we have another championship team and a very talented group of boys. So
excellent. I know the numbers are good. I was talking with Vince earlier, and he's got the numbers, and you guys are well over, I think, 30 on the team, right?
We are. Last year, Sammy and I had a large team. This will be, I think, this year with the squad we have, it's the most kids Greg's had on a team. being that he was in junior novice for the last 2 years, but we got a good group of boys and a large number. I think throughout the entire league this year, numbers are higher than they've ever been in the last 6 or 7 years. So
that's fantastic.
A great thing.
Yeah, that's a great thing to see as far as participation levels. And then of course, that translating to success up at the high school wins the state championship last year, and then now all of a sudden this is just going to help that group down the road, all these experience that these young players are getting. Last year I did the PA announcing for all the youth games, as you know, and when you say names like Gino Varney and Jax Watson, those names are very familiar to me because I announce those names quite a bit. Tell me a little bit. For me, I coached for 24 years. I had nothing but daughters, so I don't know what it's like to coach your son. Tell me a little bit what it's like to coach your son.
Well, I have 3 kids. My daughter actually last year played junior novice,
Nice.
Mia Watson. But coaching, I've been involved. Baseball and football are the big sports in our family. And when my kids were, my oldest is 14. He's going to high school this year. But going back 6, 7, 8 years ago, when my oldest especially, started getting into sports, I was a big sports player. I wanted to be involved. I have a little bit of knowledge. Obviously, had to brush up on some things and learn, how to be a coach and how to coach different age groups.
Sure.
But it's fun. I'm fortunate that I have the ability to be out here, take off work early, and come out here and not only for my kids but for these other kids. I really enjoy it. It's something I look forward to every year. And I just finished up baseball about a week ago, and throughout the entire baseball season, football's always on the mind, So I'm excited that we're starting up, and this is one of my favorite times of the year.
Absolutely. Well, earlier you mentioned about some of the returning players. Are there anybody that's new on the team that maybe you've seen a little bit out there today as they're running around doing drills, or you thought, hey, this guy or girl might be able to help the team out this season? Any newcomers? Yeah,
there's a few out there. I've asked, being that Greg isn't here, with some of our other coaching staff to kind of walk around, take a look at these new kids. I'm still learning them.
Sure.
Obviously, right now we don't have names on a helmet or on the back of a shirt, so I have to ask here and there to know who these kids are. But I have coaches, checking these kids out. We're looking for a couple players to fill some positions, and
sure.
And we'll know in a couple weeks once we get pads and helmets on, who those players are going to be. But right now, I think it's for a lot of these new kids, they're trying to figure it out. They're learning. They're probably some of them look nervous.
Yeah.
So I think we got a little bit of a road ahead of us to try to get something out of these kids and get them comfortable. But there has been a few today that Coach Jed and I have looked at and go, oh, hey, he might work good here, or he might work good there. So
there you go.
We got the notepad out.
So besides the kids having a good time and being able to participate in the drills that the high school coaches and high school players are helping out and putting on all these drills, as youth coaches, you get to walk around and do some evaluating and getting ready for the up and coming season.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice because you're kind of weaning yourself back into next week. Next week it starts, and all the responsibility and pressures on us to get these boys ready to go for the year. So it's kind of nice to walk around. I think it's great for these high school kids. They get a little bit of a taste of what us coaches have to go through, So,
absolutely.
Trying to keep these young kids focused and paying attention isn't always easy, but it's fun, and I appreciate what they're doing for us.
You bet. Tell us who's on the coaching staff for the novice this year besides you and Greg. Who else is helping out?
So we have Coach Jenkins, Coach Lefebvre, Coach Gore, Coach Paletti, and then Coach Vela. So we got a great staff, a good group of guys. I'm excited to have them as part of the staff, and there's a couple of us that pretty much know the ropes and know what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. And it's going to be nice to have these newer, younger dads who maybe only have a year, maybe 2 years in the program, start teaching them the ropes and putting them in positions with different kids and learning this stuff. So we can share the wealth and continue to grow the program.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being out here today and doing what you do all season long for the community and for these young football players and the Calaveras football community. We appreciate you. You've been listening to Coach Mitch Watson of the novice Calaveras Youth Football Team. Coach, best of luck this coming season. Go get another trophy for the community.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
We appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. All right, folks, now sitting next to me up here in the booth is head coach of the junior varsity youth Calaveras football team, Coach Sam Arledge, who last year won the Super Bowl, the year before won the Super Bowl, and in the last 2 years, not only has this team won the Super Bowl, but they've gone undefeated. And let's face it, Coach, I mean, when you walk into a room full of guys, you're like the guy that's playing chess in a room full of guys just playing checkers, right? I mean, you got this thing dialed in, right? No big expectations this year.
I'm not a football guy, man. I'm a baseball guy, and I'd like to thank the high school program, a lot of those coaches. I'm a big sponge, and I just drink in whatever they tell me, and I just try to apply what they tell me in my own style, and it seems to be working out so far.
It's working out so far. So 2 straight years, undefeated Super Bowl. Now you're moving up to the junior varsity squad. Tell me about, how that feels. Tell me about this coming next season, which, Monday you guys get right back at it. And, less than a month from now, week 1 is upon us and you're going to have a different color jersey in front of you. Tell me about the feeling moving up to the JV. Maybe some returning players that you're going to be leaning on this coming season. Let the fans know what's going on with this squad.
Well, there's a big jump from novice to JV. You got a lot of kids. Some kids are hitting puberty. Some kids aren't even close to puberty, and that's just evolution and how it goes. With that being said, I'm real excited to come up to JV. It's a little more intense football. It's a little more football, the gloves are off. There's no rules limiting you for blitzing or anything of that nature. I'd say it's about as close as the high school as far as rules that the kids are going to get until they get to high school.
Mm-hmm.
Returners, I got a good squad. With talking about, puberty and things of that nature, the closest thing to compare this team would have to be 2 years ago when we first won that first Super Bowl. That's the majority of the team that I have coming back that are getting together. Yeah, we have some new players that'd be added to that just over the years, getting new players each year. But that overall group, that core group, that's I started coaching them 4 years ago as a DC, and I'm looking forward to coaching those kids. The 6th graders, we got Ethan Mosa. He's going to be in the backfield for us. Gregory Mills at quarterback. Mintz, another running back. We got a strong line with Manoa. He's a 2nd-year player. Nunes, he's a 4-year or 6-year player. Carne Asada, he's a 3-year player.
Mm-hmm.
I might be forgetting some kids, but and I got some kids coming up. I got some big boys for the line coming up, and it's real important, that line. If you don't got that line, you got to be able to move people.
Tell me about some of those guys. Who are some of those guys?
Charlie Lee. I got Lucas Mellinger, and I've got Jordan Morales coming up. Those were some big hitters for us last year. I'm sure I'm forgetting guys, but those are kind of the main 3 guys that are coming up that have that size that's they're going to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then anybody out there, I know it's early, but maybe that's new on the team that maybe so far this morning you've seen out in the camp, they've been participating in some agility and some drills, and anybody that maybe raised your eyebrows and said, oh, maybe this guy might be able to help us out here, or anybody like that you've seen so far?
Yeah, we got kid Lozano. He's a new kid. He's a basketball player. He's played some flag. We'll see what the pads get on, but he's very athletic. We just got to coach him up a little bit on as far as getting some leverage and things of that nature. Also, we got a transfer from Galt. I think he just moved up here. I didn't even know the kid. There's always 5 or 6 kids that are on the list every year that you don't know.
Right, little question mark.
Question mark, and he's a new player to our program, but he played for Galt, so that's great, you know.
So some experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Tell us about, if I'm not mistaken, you pretty much had called the defense, right?
I switch off every other year. You know, I'm fortunate enough that I've got Coach Mosa calling the offense, so you know, he's a state champion.
So this year, Coach Mosa will call your offense. You'll call the defense.
Yes. Last year I called the offense. 2 years ago I called the defense, and I just keep switching every other year.
Gotcha. Tell us a little bit about who else is on your staff, on that JV staff, that's going to help out the team this year.
I've got me as a head coach. I've got Manny as the offensive coordinator. I'm also the DC. I've got Rob Mosa as a quarterbacks coach and linebackers coach. I've got Brian Fusen as an O-line coach. Steve Min as a D-line coach. Brian Mellinger as a backs, both sides, offense, you know, running backs and linebackers. And then I got Chris Watson as DB's coach and receivers coach. And
nice.
I think that's everybody.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's 7. I think that's everybody.
But I mean, I guess you need that many when you got as many kids as you got. You had quite a few kids on the team, right?
I've got I think 38, and that very knowledgeable group of guys. We've all coached together. The only person I haven't coached with is Rob, but he's a legend in his own, especially at the junior program. He's coached for many Super Bowls, and I'm glad to have. Like I said, I'm a baseball coach, man, and having surrounding myself with so much football knowledge is just a huge help.
Well, I got news for you, Coach. You may self-proclaim yourself as a baseball coach, but when you win a couple of Super Bowls, pretty soon you're going to have to also add football coach to that title as well. You've done a really good job. Tell me, Coach, is there anything on this schedule when you look at it, anybody pop out, any asterisks next to a certain game where you go, oh, I can't wait for that one? Oakdale.
We got Argonaut, and they're going to be very good, but Oakdale's the big question mark. They're the returning JV head or Super Bowl champions from the CenCal division, and they're a well-renowned program, you know.
Yeah.
And they're a much larger program. They have more kids to pull from. It's going to be a challenge, you know, them and Argonaut, and even Argonaut, they have more kids to pull from. They're a bigger area. We're small school, you know, small area. But we're not going to back down. We're going to tackle that head on.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, any last words before we get going? I know you got more evaluating to do with these young football players that are out there.
You know, I can't wait to get. It's, you know, it kind of starts right now, but it starts next week. It starts Monday, and you know, we know the recipe. You know, it starts Monday. We gotta work harder than anybody else, and that's where it starts. And then we'll see how the season goes. Absolutely.
All right, folks. So you've been listening to the head junior varsity football coach, Coach Sam Arledge of the Calaveras Youth Football Program. He'll take on here at Calaveras High School on Saturday, August 15th, Tuolumne. Come on out and support the program. Coach Arledge, thank you for your time and wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Thanks, Gil.
You got it. All right, folks, sitting next to me now up in the booth is head football coach of the varsity Calaveras Youth Football Team, Coach Ryan Nunn. Coach, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me in the middle of this camp here. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's good to see these kids come back out this year, get some time out here, get some reps with the high school staff. as well.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I know first year now as head coach of the varsity at the youth program, but you've been around a while. I've seen you down there the last several years. Tell us about your coaching background, what levels you've coached in these last years that you've been here at Calaveras.
Yeah, so I've been Calaveras about 6 years now, mainly as a defensive coordinator. Last year took a step back, family things, needed some time off. So it's been a good time up here, been back-to-back multiple Super Bowls. Sadly, we've never been able to finish that ticket yet. So this year is the main goal of emphasis of trying to get back to that Super Bowl and crown the victory this year. It'd be a good time to get it. We've struggled last year. We had a lot of new players coming in, so a lot of new install for them, getting them reps and understanding how this game works.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the Super Bowl appearances. I believe 2 years ago you were on Coach Paulson's staff where you guys made it to the Super Bowl, came up just short in that game. But you know what it takes as far as preparation and to get there. Tell me a little bit about the plans for the upcoming season as far as just, preparation and getting this team ready to get going.
Yeah, so we've been to, I think 3 or 4 Super Bowls since I've been here. They're about 6 years. And it's a lot of work. It starts here today, It's been rough, coming down to that last drive and giving it up to Houston 2 years ago, in a game that we had control of all the way up to the fourth quarter. And that's the biggest thing, understanding how to finish a game in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
These kids, it starts now. The amount of reps you get in, I was just talking to Coach Weldon about repping 30 plays minimum in a practice, That way these kids understand repetition's everything. You don't just work here, you work at home. You can go over simple footsteps at home. You can block your wall for all I care. It's one of those things is the more reps you get in, the better football player you are, understanding how to sit low in your hips, explosions and stuff like that. But,
absolutely.
yeah.
So you've had a chance so far this morning watching some of your players out here participating in this camp that the high school coaches are putting on the drills, high school players as well. Tell me about what you think this does for these players in this community and, how it can help as far as getting the season started.
Oh, this is huge. And back to my earlier days of coaching, and even when I was playing high school football, these are the same camps I used to come out and I'd coach as a high school player when I was back in Galt. And nowadays, you see this up here at Calaveras. This is a huge one because some of these kids out here at the high school level are the same kids I coached the last 5-6 years. And some of them now have gone and won a state championship. So it's good to see the fruits of everything paying off through time.
Yeah, you bet.
And it's just, being a defensive coordinator, watching, my kids go to the high school that I've coached and just stand out at those levels. It's a promising stepping stone. And they're seeing these high school kids and they're understanding, watching their every step. These are big brothers to them. It's like the beginning of today, I pulled my varsity together and I let them know basically, hey, you have to show these kids what it's like to be disciplined football players. They watch your every step out here, from basically JV to varsity. The junior novice is watching novice, novice watching JV. It takes a lot of time, and if they see your discipline in and out of every play, every drive, on and off the field, I don't allow my players to walk on a football field. There's no reason to be walking. You get your conditioning in between plays.
There you go.
So you hustle on and off the field for water. You hustle on and off for every drive, every down, every single, fundamental drills we're doing. You hustle in and out back to your line. Get your work in there. We don't get our work just, sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
And that's not going to get you to a Super Bowl. The amount of time it takes to build a Super Bowl team, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially as a coaching staff, being on and off the field, you don't stop at home. I get 3-4 hours of filming a week. Practice plans in. You start drawing up plays. By the time you're done with the week, you got 6 hours on a practice field, 10 hours in the beginning of the season, and you're in another 10 hours at home, no problem. I'm, luckily I work far away, so I get an hour and a half drive planning my game plan for the week.
I certainly can relate to that, Coach. Tell me about this coming season as far as on that varsity team. Anybody returning that was on last year's team that you think, is maybe will be an impact? And then any newcomers on the team that maybe you saw out there this morning and said, hey, that guy might be something that might be able to help us?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was a little concerned before today. And then I was watching this camp, and we got a lot of returning players. We got a lot of upcoming players that surprised me already being here. Some of our returning players, we got one of our quarterbacks, Emerson, coming back. That's huge, having that disciplined quarterback coming back or in that offense in and out, And he's so versatile in this offense, and getting him to where we can open it up a little more offensively to give him more leverage with his legs, and make other teams adjust to us. And like last year, we were kind of stuck in the box. It pushed us back there. They weren't used to getting outside that box, playing outside the perimeter lines. So this year, the goal is, hey, let's force these teams to play outside on us. Get back to the way, the high school likes to run it. We'll bring it back inside and beat you down.
Sure.
But we'll also run it outside on you all day long and force you to play outside and inside. We return back Steinhoff as well. He's going to be a big key part to the running back group and a big key part in the linebacker group for me. As a returning player, the kid hits like a freaking freight train, and he's good at it. And, just keeping him out here on the field, keeping him disciplined. I'm hoping to see him like a future Locke. I'd love to see him come out and run that defense for me like Locke did and be physical, be fast to the ball. We also return back Williams. He's a big key to this offense, that speed, that agility. The kid runs so fast and cut inside in and outside those lanes. He sees a linebacker with one step, he's gone to the outside, and that's a key part to this offense. And he also comes back for me defensively, where he's a strong, safety for me. And I know that if that ball is being run up that middle, he's coming up to hit you like a freight train too. He might not be the biggest kid, but he will knock you on your butt quick,
That's always good to have.
And then offensive line-wise, we're returning back Trillo. He's a big key to this offensive line. He's played as well the past few years. He's a good player that I think if he gets his hands on you, he's going to drive you 10 yards. It's just getting that discipline and mental factor to him, and I think he'll be just fine. We're also returning some key players from the JV level, so we got, LeFabry. He's a big key. I've been waiting to coach him. I joke about it from day one. I saw him 6 years ago, and he told me his last name's LeFabry, and I laughed, and I was like, man, you're going to go be a linebacker for LSU one day, aren't you? That last name, you can't live that down, as a defensive coach. And it was like, he's a big factor up here, and I'm already seeing it here. He's standing out big time.
Very nice.
You got Montgomery as well, a kid that I just literally went and asked him, hey, do you want to go play some running back today? And he's like, nah, coach, I want to go play line. What 5'0" size kid, which he's grown a lot this offseason, but tells the coach like, hey, I want to go play line, coach. I want to be disciplined down there. And that's huge for me. He's not taking that assertive for himself. He's taking it for the team.
Sure.
He's willing to do what it takes for this team.
That's great.
And then we're returning Varney. That's a big blessing to this varsity staff right now. That's a kid that I've watched for many years tear it up down below, and I've been waiting to coach him for a long time. And I think he's going to be a massive key to this offense, And then a big one coming in this year for me too is Weldon. I think he's going to end up surprising a lot of people this year. I think that kid's got a lot of athletic abilities, and he's growing into his body. He's growing fitness-wise and everything. And he's going to be a huge key to being able to be that second-string guy that might come in and relieve some plays for, Emerson. He can even come in defensively, receiver. He's just that utility player I didn't have before,
Yeah.
That is going to be a big blessing for me. And then we got a new kid coming in this year, Daniel. Sorry, I don't know last name yet, but I met him over there. Kid looks like he's played linebacker for 10 years. He's only got 1 year of experience on the novice level. He looks amazing, and he came from Linden, good thing.
Yeah.
Picking up some local players now finally.
We'll take them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much where we got players-wise. We got a lot of returning players, but we got a lot of first-year players that look like they're promising.
Excellent. So Coach, this year, as far as play call, are you calling the offense, the defense? What's tell me a little bit about that.
So for me, I'm going to be calling the defense this year. I'll be
Okay.
back being the defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Back in my normal element.
In your wheelhouse.
Yep. That's where I've lived the last, 10 years or so being a defensive coordinator. I'm going to let Coach Weldon, which is our offensive coordinator this year, he'll be calling the plays on the offensive side.
Okay.
And then we got Coach Montgomery, which will be another backup for Coach Weldon, kind of making sure, if he needs any extra help, adjustments, anything like that, he'll be there to help him out. And then, obviously I can help out with my, background on varsity and explaining little things, things I've seen in the past. And, these teams on varsity, they change a little bit, but it's the same coaches I've seen for the last, 2 to 3 years, 4 years, and I know their styles. So it's kind of good that I've seen these coaches and I can bring some versatile that they haven't seen yet to that. And then we got a couple of other coaches as well. We were bringing in Coach Kim Manoa. Hopefully I said last name right. Sorry, Kim. He's a big blessing to this offensive line, defensive line. I mean, he's huge. I mean, trying to recruit his kid up to varsity, but Vince shut that down fast as well, But yeah, he's a huge help to this offensive line, defensive line of what we needed. I mean, Coach Nave set a standard last year, and I think this is going to be a good standard that brought back, Ken, and he's going to be something in this program for the next few years. And I think he's going to be a big key to this line, helping set up these run blocks and stuff that we haven't necessarily had the last few years. We've had the linemen. We just, I think a little bit more structure can go a little bit more further in somebody that's been at the upper levels and understands alignment at the upper levels too.
Sure.
And then we're also returning Coach Hill. Coach Hill was a JV coach last year. He's coming back to help us out. He'll be our special teams coordinator. And then he'll also be helping me with receivers as well. So that's another big pickup, somebody that's been in this program a while as well. And then we're bringing on a new coach, Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor is a former DB in college. He's played a little bit of JC ball. That'll help out defensively on me, picking up a few things as well. So, that's a huge group that I've struggled with the last few years is DB group because, I'm sorry, I'm not your DB. I can coach it, but I'm a true linebacker coach. And now that I got Manoa, D-line coach, that's a big blessing as well, Now we're fully staffed defensively to where, I'm not trying to help overload the load, in which, I had Coach Steele, linebacker, last year. And the years before, he's been my linebacker coach for a long time. And that was a big help. But, being able to replenish and replace coaches that's huge.
Yeah. Well, I've coached defense on myself, and I always said, Coach, if they don't score, they don't win.
Yeah, and that's our motto this year. Our motto is, hey, I don't want to rotate seconds and thirds in the defense unless we're up, quite a bit. Let's keep the first string in. Let's rotate some players, and let's beat them down defensively, And that's when my background from Liberty Ranch, we went back-to-back Super Bowls and stuff. And that was how we did it. We kept that defense strong, and we beat you down physically. And, once you beat down that quarterback enough, hey, I hate to say it, by the time you get third or fourth quarter, he's making mistakes. He's fumbling. He's throwing interceptions.
It's only nature.
Exactly. So, let's beat him down first and second quarter. Let's beat him, physically, athletically.
All right. Well, hey, folks, you've been listening to head football coach of the Calaveras Youth Varsity Football Team, Coach Ryan Nunn. Come on out on Saturday, August 15th. 6 p.m. kickoff against Tuolumne right here at Calaveras High School to support the team. Coach, I wish you the best of luck for the coming season. Really appreciate the time and you coming out and doing everything you do to help this the Calaveras football family and with these young players. Really appreciate all your time and everything you do for the community.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate this.
You bet. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, folks, sitting next to me now up in the booth is legendary O-line and D-line coach at the Calaveras High School varsity football team, state champion football team, Coach Scott Anderson.
Thanks, man. Great to be here.
Coach, you've been out there all morning helping some of the varsity players help the young guys, all this, junior novice, the whole youth program. Gosh, I mean, you've been doing this since the Nixon administration, it seems like. What keeps you going? I mean, you've been to so many of these things. What keeps you going to be able to just keep doing this event year in and year out?
Getting here is the hardest part, right? Once you're here, it's a blast. You get to see the kids having fun. It wasn't too hot today, so it was a pretty good wind breeze, and we're happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got a chance to talk to all the head coaches, some shifting around of, junior, novice, JV, and varsity for the youth program. And, looking at the past couple of years, junior, novice, and novice, 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
All of that group is moving up into the JV and varsity. Eventually, that next couple of years, all those players are going to be up at the high school. High school just wins the state championship, first ever in school history. Tell me about just that whole dynamic with these young guys having success. The numbers out here are amazing. They got 140 kids signed up to play.
Yeah.
Tell me about that whole dynamic.
Man, it's the future's looking bright. Manny and I and Doug, we put on a little clinic. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday for the coaches up here in the coaches' office, and we had a full room. I mean, we probably had 25, 30 coaches, and that's huge, and those are the same guys that have been here year in and year out, and they're really taking our philosophy and our scheme on full force. So it's nice to see.
Absolutely. You hear a lot of the cheering in the background as we're talking. You've got all these youth players that are out there participating in a tug of war, so they're competing against each other, and it looks like no love lost. They want to win out there.
Yeah. My guys, my varsity guys that were down there with me, they're like, "Hey, coach, do we let them win?" I said, "Heck no, you don't let anybody win. Pull their arms out of their sockets." Yeah.
So you got together with the youth coaches, kind of went over. I mean, that's got to be great, and just in the sense of continuity, younger coaches that maybe haven't coached as long, but they're learning from the high school coaches, learning the system, learning the X's and O's, teaching it the way you want to be taught, so that by the time players get to you, it's not their first time to the rodeo, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a huge factor. Years ago, we when we were first installing it, we took coaches however we got them, and we didn't really care what they were teaching them, just as long as they were teaching them football. And it slowly morphed all the way down into the lowest levels of the Pop Warner, and it's paying dividends. We're winning football games at the high school level and big ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything out there today you want to share with the folks as far as stories? I mean, you got to have seen something that's humorous or something that happened out there today, seeing all these guys, line up and figure out stances, figure out tackling.
Yeah.
And
Well, I always go with, when we line up on the offensive group and I teach the 3-point stance, it's always the toilet stance, right?
Right.
Everybody, I ask them, hey, how many guys have a toilet? And one of the kids goes, "I have 3, coach." I said, "Man, you're living right." Yeah. So it was pretty funny. We all got a chuckle out of that. But that's shit. How many kids we have out here? We got 100 plus kids.
Yeah, 100, easily well over 100. Vince Montgomery, the president of the youth program, said there's 141 signed up. There's well over 100 here today. I'm sure some had vacations planned, all that good stuff. On Monday, they get going with their conditioning, so that's when their practices begin.
Yeah.
And then first game Saturday, August 15th, right here at Calaveras High School.
Yeah.
They'll take on Tuolumne. Tell me a little bit about your players. You have varsity high school football players that are on the team this year that are out here acting as coaches, and they're helping coach in some of the drills. Tell me a little bit about how that looked and what you saw out there today.
Looks good. They're not used to coaching. They're used to being coached. So there were a little apprehension at first, but once we got into the drills they were familiar with, they really took over. They were this age not too long ago.
That's
right?
true.
Each one of them said, "I remember this camp," and I looked up to these guys and I said, "Well, now you guys are the men that these kids are looking up to, be role models out there, so it worked out."
Now, right before it started, I was down there and Coach Mosa was kind of giving the varsity high school players kind of expectations, talking to that group about, what he wanted out of them. And they all got practice schedules for today.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I let them all know, I say, "Hey, listen, if you're going to be a coach for the day, you got to learn how to properly wear your practice schedule, fold it up and stick it in your shorts."
I saw that. I looked around and everybody's looking at me. I don't know. Okay, I see you.
The guy who started it all.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I remember one year, it was a basketball game or something, and I went in. It was Calaveras Bret Hart, and it was Mikey Sewell's, I think 2014 or something like that. And the JVs were playing, and I walk in the gym, and they're all standing there with pieces of paper hanging out their off their shorts. I was like, "What are we doing?" Yeah, like, "Hey, coach, what's going on?" Yeah, pretty funny.
That's awesome stuff. All right, so Coach, looks like Coach Mosa's doing his finishing talk here to the guys. They've been out here since 9 o'clock this morning, participating in all these drills and skills for these little guys, learning from the high school coaches. Tell me a little bit, and all our listeners out there in the Calaveras faithful country out here, about this up-and-coming season for the varsity high school team, obviously coming off a historic season, winning the state championship, section championship. I asked Coach Mosa, it's like, man, this is kind of no man's land here because every year you're kind of still chasing that section title. What you knew what you wanted to do. Now you've done it all. It's like, now what, right?
Yeah.
So how do you approach this coming season?
Yeah, uncharted territory. We've always been the bridesmaid. If you win your final game, like I always say, you win the final game of the year, you're usually not in the playoffs, right? If you're a Calaveras team, because we get to a certain point and then we get knocked off. And last season we the train just kept rolling down the tracks, and it was a great feeling. I was in a conversation just the other day about it, and after it was all over, we all coaches looked at each other and they're like, well.
Now what? Huh?
Now what? What do we do now? It's Christmas is just around the corner. It was kind of bizarre. Yeah. So I hope these guys, understand that that's last year's team,
right?
And they got to make their own identities. A lot of the key players are gone, and we have some key players that are coming back, but there's some holes to fill for sure.
Sure. Well, I mean, you got Cohen Curran, the quarterback that's returning.
Yeah.
You had some young guys on the team like Quincy Dyson. Locke, who was a young guy that came up and got that experience. Obviously, with you running that O-line, I'm sure you're going to figure out a combination somewhere that's going to help the team.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about maybe some of those guys up front.
Yeah. We've got Jack and Grant and the Varney kid and the two tackles that we had last year, Red Brock and Ike Chance. The cornerstones there, and our, of course, our Landon Patrick at tight end. So we should be all right. I'm expecting those three inside guys, the center and two guards, to do some big things. They got some big shoes to fill. And if they can't do it, we'll find somebody that can.
That's right.
At the JVs, we'll have to find somebody, some young buck up there.
We'll find somebody.
Yeah, I have the confidence that those three guys can get it done. Just it's up to me to get them ready, game ready, and it's up to them to perform.
And it's like we always say, as long as we stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key right there. Is it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we got lucky. We were pretty healthy all the way through the year. Last season. So.
All right, well, Coach, this coming season, obviously, going to wish you the best of luck. I'll be out there broadcasting the games, rooting you guys on. You've been listening to legendary O-line and D-line Coach Scott Anderson of the Calaveras High School varsity football team, returning state champions 5A from last year. Coach, best of luck this coming season. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks. And thanks to the Pop Warner guys. You guys did a great job.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. All right, folks, sitting next to me now up in the booth is head varsity football coach at the state champion Calaveras High School varsity Red Hawk football team, Coach Manny Mosa. Coach, thanks for spending your time, and tell me a little bit how this whole event went down today.
Yeah, man, youth camp. This is kind of the beginning. This is what really gets the season fired off, not just for the youth guys, but for the high school guys too. Usually it's youth camp. Then it's practice and it's quarterback club dinner. And the next thing you know, we're at scrimmage at Central, and then we're playing games.
Right.
So it was a good day. A lot of turnout. I think there was somewhere in the 90s in turnout. It's a great turnout for young football players. I know we have our youth program. I think we're about 141 total football players. So that's really, really good to see. And I got to tell you, a lot even the younger kids, man, there's a lot of football knowledge, a lot of football energy out there, which is good.
So I was talking earlier, as far as the youth goes, I mean, everyone knows you're the varsity football coach at the high school, but on the youth program, you're helping coach up the JV team, which is coached by Sam Arledge, and everybody knows by now from earlier today. I was pumping him up about being undefeated and 2 Super Bowl champs in a row and all that good stuff. So tell me a little bit about that team, what you got coming up for this year and for that JV squad. Last couple of years, obviously the junior novice, lots of success. And then now hopefully we'll start to see that coming up into the JV and varsity, right?
Yeah, last year JV team, a lot of the underclassmen, the 5th graders, they got a lot of time, and we had a lot of starters that were underclassmen, and we talk about it as coaches, repetitions. The more game reps that these kids can have, the better they're going to be. Game reps are just different than practice reps, and I think a combination of a lot of the 5th graders that are now 6th graders, the time they received last year on the football field, and we got a tough bunch coming up from the novice level. Those incoming 5th graders, they're going to really help out and fill some spots too. So one thing I'll say about the team is they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. They're not going to quit. They're not going to give up. They're not going to whine and cry about stuff. They're just a really tough bunch, and so I'm looking forward.
I like
helping
it.
out.
I like it. Can't wait. They'll get going Monday. This after this weekend, Monday they get going with their conditioning to get ready for the season, and then they open up right here at home at Calaveras High School against Tuolumne on Saturday, August 15th. Be sure to come out and support this youth football program. We got some very dynamic, exciting football players. You're going to want to come out. It's a real good time to watch these young players come out and compete. Coach, tell us now a little bit. We talked about some dates and when the youth program is going to happen. From the high school, let's shift gears. The high school program, we just got out of that no contact period. Tell me about moving forward, some important dates as far as, for the team and then for the community and events coming up here for the high school team.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 weeks until our first official practice, and we're going to use that, and we're going to get into shape, and we're going to hit the weight room, pass out gear, make sure everyone has the right stuff, right gear, and we're going to make sure come first official day of practice that we're ready to go, and we're not waiting on anything. We're not focused on anything else. It's just going to be football. Focus on football. We have our quarterback club dinner fundraiser coming up. It's our biggest fundraiser for this football program, and I'll tell you, it's over the last 3 years, it's just gotten better and better. And a lot of good people show up. A lot of people that want to help these guys, help the program, and all in all, it's just a really good time.
And that's Saturday the 25th.
Saturday the 25th. Get your tickets ASAP. No tickets will be available at the door. We're close, but there's still some. We still have some tickets available.
Okay.
As of today, Saturday.
Okay.
And we'll sell tickets till probably Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll have to shut it down after that. But
and if someone's listening right now and they're going, I need to get a ticket. How do I get a ticket? What are they going to do?
They can email calaverasredhawkfootball@yahoo.com.
Okay.
That would be the best thing to do. That's going to go directly to myself and Heather.
Excellent.
Course, and we all know she keeps everything organized for me. So.
Absolutely.
That'd be the best way, and she can get you the information, and we can get that taken care of.
You got it. Okay, so weight room. I remember, in all my years of coaching with you and with Coach Anderson, I remember a lot of times ending the season, and Coach Anderson was going to say, I got one word for you guys, weight room.
Weight room.
And I go like, what's that? I get compound word, maybe not 2 words, whatever. All right.
When you're Coach Anderson, it's whatever you want it to be. If he says it's 3 words, and we're going to stick with 3 words,
So you get weight room, and then after that, you get practice starting. We talked a little bit about this now for the up and coming season, but for our fans out there that listen up, you guys win the section title, the NorCal title, the state championship, and now coming into this year, fresh new season, fresh new team, couple few returners going. What's the mentality like as far as, are the returners saying, hey, this is what we got to do? Are they being leaders? What's the dynamic like right now as far as this squad, even though it's still early, but what do you see so far?
They're engaged. It's addictive, if you will. Winning, when you win, you want to continue to win. And, our guys, they've been putting in the time, putting in the work in the off season as they should. And I think they're up for the challenge. It's a new year. It's a different year. We have different players, different positions. It's going to be different, but they know what it takes, you know, and so far they're doing that. So, and we've talked about it, you know, you can do everything right and all you're going to get is an opportunity.
Right.
You know, there's no guarantee. And one thing I like about this group is I think because of how much football they played last year, they're grown up. They understand it. You know, they know this. They know the scoop. They know what's happening. There's no surprises.
Right.
They're putting in the work, and they know all it is an opportunity to go play a football game.
You bet. Well, certainly a lot of talent on this team, some returning talent, some young and up-and-coming players that are coming up from the JVs who had success last year. So the team is talented. So they'll have their opportunities as long as they stay healthy. First game for the Calaveras varsity high school football team is going to be Friday night, last week of August. What is it, like the 25th or something like that?
I think it's the 28th at Bradshaw Christian.
28th at Bradshaw Christian. That's going to be week one. The Calaveras Redhawks back in action against Bradshaw Christian, who's a perennial powerhouse. Last year, Calaveras lost by 1 point to them. So everybody's looking forward to get back out there and get after that team to hopefully make up for some unfinished business there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, our preseason this year is tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, you got Bradshaw, Ripon Christian, and Balboa, who's a two-time state champion out of San Francisco, right?
Yep. And Argonaut's looking up.
And Argonaut's got a lot of young talent as well.
We got 4 very tough games this preseason.
So should be an exciting season. Be sure to get out to Calaveras High School. Tune in to KVGC Radio this year on the country station. It's Calaveras Country. You're going to want to tune in to yours truly and Greg Stark, bring you all the play-by-play action. Calaveras at Bradshaw, Friday night, August 28th. You've been listening to head varsity football coach, Coach Manny Mosa, out here at the 2026 Calaveras Youth Football Camp. Coach, I really appreciate your time and obviously wish you the best of luck this coming season.
Hey, thank you, and I appreciate you showing up.
You bet. All right. Hey, until next time, folks, we are out.
Let's talk football
With Coach Val.
Let's talk football
With Coach Val.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football
With Coach Val.
Let's talk football
With Coach Val.
Let's talk football
With Coach Val.
Let's talk football.
Slot formation. Juarez, the pistol back. There goes Bell. He's looking to throw. Throws off to his left side. It's going to be intercepted. I believe that's number 22, Ryan Clifton, who's got some room on the left side. The 10, the 5. Touchdown, Calaveras.
Ryan Clifton with a great play on the ball. The quarterback, he undercut that route and just picked it off and took it, 45, 50 yards up the field. A great play by Clifton.
Let's talk football. Let's